You know, the world has an image of the king, and rightly so. But behind the image, behind the lights and the makeup and the music, there was a real human being, a real person that had feelings that was entirely different, light years away to the image. Elvis was an extremely intelligent human being.
He just wanted to know about all different kinds of aspects of life. He was always searching for something. We didn't know what it was, but as life went on, we realized that he wanted to know why he was here. Why was he picked to be this person? Why did he get all this talent?
But there were times when I looked at him, he looked very lonely, and he'd be in the middle of a bunch of people. And I'd look at him and I think, he's not even where he wants to be right there. He's not feeling anything right now.
I thought, how's he going to come out of this? And another part of me thought, he's going to. He will come out of it. Then the other voice in me said, no, this is not good. He's reaching the end of his road.
In 1954, Larry Geller becomes his personal hairstylist and spiritual guide, which many considered an odd combination. Larry not only played a big part in shaping Elvis's iconic hairstyle, but he also started to change his mentality. He put Elvis on a path of self-realization, which made it difficult for his entourage to relate. Only his close friend Jerry started to want to follow the same path, as it allowed him to have more intimate conversations with him.
Larry was a strange bird for our group, you know. That probably took a lot of pressure off of me with Larry coming in. I look like one of the boys.
You know, Larry was very nice at first. We didn't know too much about him. I mean, he was a Los Angeles guy. He was a hairdresser. He was introduced to us by Elvis's barber before him. And he was very pleasant and nice. But then we didn't realize that Larry was very much into, what would you say, different kinds of religions, different ideas about life and philosophies. Elvis and Larry talked a lot together, hours and hours on end. It was not something I was interested in. I wasn't interested in all these different philosophies of life and why we're here and all that stuff. I didn't care. I was just having a good time. But they spent a lot of time talking about that, and Elvis really got into it. And Elvis started reading books about different religions. He got into all religions. He just wanted to know about all different kinds of aspects of life. He was always searching for something. We didn't know what it was, but as life went on, we realized that he wanted to know why he was here. Why was he picked to be this person? Why did he get all this talent?
Larry was very quiet-spoken, but then he started introducing his Far Eastern, what I call California cult crap. I mean, I'm not putting anybody's beliefs down, but it was a typical spiritual cult deal that some people in California love. And he started talking to Elvis about it. And Elvis was, was interested because it gave him something new. And as the years went by, I started calling Larry the Swami, because first of all, I don't trust people like that. I think they're full of shit. I think they have an ulterior motive.
Larry would bring a book or a couple of books and say, man, you might like this or whatever. And then Elvis would kind of try to share that with the rest of us. It was a tough turnaround for some of the guys to be playing football all the time and doing karate, and to now sit down and read books about Indian philosophy.
Elvis devoured the books immediately. In fact, when we left Southern California to drive back to Memphis, every hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, Elvis, who used to drive, would pull over and start reading. And this kind of blew everyone's mind. The guys weren't used to this.
A lot of people close to Elvis didn't understand it and didn't want to understand it. They didn't like what Larry brought into his life. So even though Larry himself didn't have a problem with the Memphis Mafia, his affection for them wasn't reciprocated.
This group around Elvis, we were such an exclusive group, unique. It was our own little special Elvis brotherhood. We lived with one another. Philosophically, most of them didn't agree with me at all. Perhaps I don't agree with them. Below all that, putting that aside, I have a deep love for all these people. I really do. You know, the world has an image of the king, and rightly so. But behind the image, behind the lights and the makeup and the music, there was a real human being, a real person that had feelings that was entirely different, light years away to the image. Elvis was an extremely intelligent human being. He had great instincts. And he was up to the challenge of reading. Now, he just barely got through high school. I remember he used to say to me, he said, man, I don't know how I got through high school. I used to sit in class and just stare out the window and just daydream. I would dream of myself being on the big screen someday. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed my discussions with Elvis. And what I'm referring to is that every day, for years, Elvis and I would spend at least an hour, sometimes 2 to 3 hours, discussing life, his life, religion, whatever. But we got into these type of philosophical, metaphysical conversations every day. And I enjoyed it so much because I saw this person who started to just blossom spiritually. He had so many questions about life, about the Bible, about his career, about where he was going in life. And this developed and cultivated over the years, and I just enjoyed it so much. And this is basically what I wanted. I had a wonderful job. I was being paid beautifully by Elvis. And at the same time, I was able to enable him and provide for him the material and the friendship that he needed. Because here's a guy that, look, he was beyond a superstar. Elvis was beyond that. He was something else. Wherever he went, he was besieged by people. So he created his own world, his own universe. And within himself, he would travel to China or to India or to England or to Germany and to the 12th century or 2,000 years ago. And he was able to do this. And we had the most magnificent time together over the years until he passed away.